My next guest says in a tweet about Putin and his ceasefire, imagine a rapist broke into your house. He rapes, kills, and then he got tired and he asks for a ceasefire. What will your answer be? Oleksiy Goncharenko is a Ukrainian member of parliament for the Odessa region, and he joins me now via Skype. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Your comment, frankly, speaks to the trauma, frankly, the fear that your country and your people have experienced over the past 11 months. Russia, in the meantime, says Ukraine rejected the hand of Christmas mercy. I want you to take me through this mistrust based on what you've experienced.
Yeah, there is a lot of mistrust because it's not 11 months, it's more than 8 years. Russia started this war against Ukraine in 2014. And from this time, all the time they lie, 24/7. First, Putin said that is not us who attacked Crimea, that is some people, nobody unidentified. Certainly it were Russians. Then he was lying that he doesn't control the separatists in the eastern part of Ukraine. Again, it was lying. Then he was lying that he will not attack Ukraine when he was building up his military presence on our borders. Again, he was lying. So he's lying all the time. And this time he is again lying. He wants he has two objectives. First one is to win the time, because yes, he needs time to refresh, replenish his troops, and to restart his attacks. And second objective is to make mess in the international auditoria and internal Russia, to show that Putin is a peacemaker. You know, it's so ridiculous. Man who started the most brutal war after the Second World War, who organized genocide of Ukrainians, who killed thousands and thousands of people, now tries to show himself as a peacemaker. That's the joke.
Yeah. Oleksiy, I have to ask you, I mean, you've also said this in a tweet. Putin has already weaponized food, energy, winter, and now he's weaponizing Christmas. Does your government have information that there could have been attacks on churches during Christmas? Because one of your officials warned people from going to church because of this potential threat.
Exactly. When Putin is saying something, first what we think will happen, it's absolutely opposite. So he is saying, I will not attack. It means that he is planning the attack. If he is saying that we want to give people possibility to go to churches, it means for us that he wants to make some provocation and kill people in churches. That is absolutely what he did. Last year in my native city in Odessa, during the Orthodox Easter, he killed a family with a 3-month-old little girl. And such examples are, unfortunately, are a lot of them. So that's why, yes, we are concerned about some provocations, false flag operations from Putin. It's absolutely in his KGB style.
Russia confirmed the biggest attack on its forces, killing what they said 89 soldiers. Ukraine says it's much higher. This was, of course, widely discussed even within Russia internally about how they could have been targeted. It was an interesting, conversation to watch. How would you characterize right now what Russian soldiers, Russian troops are thinking and feeling in terms of how they are coping with their agenda to win this war? Because with this ceasefire, there are many questions around whether they want the front lines to freeze, particularly because they feel like they're losing ground.
Absolutely, they are losing the ground. And you can see that from the beginning of September, Ukraine liberated a big part of our territories, thousands and thousands of square miles. And that's why Putin is now looking for a possibility to stop Ukraine. He still hopes for some unrest in the West. He still hopes for some changes, political changes in the United States, European Union, United Kingdom. He's doing everything he can to make these changes, to provoke some problems in these countries, both with food crisis, energy crisis, refugee crisis. That is his hope. And from military point of view, he understands that he can't achieve the goals he had at the beginning. And his goal today is just to hold the line, which he has for the moment. But it's very difficult for him. Russian troops are demoralized. They don't know what they do in Ukraine. They clearly demoralized with the last attacks, precise attacks by Ukraine. I want to stress your attention that attack against Russian military base in Makeyevka was exactly precise. no one civilian was hurt during this attack. It's absolutely opposite to how Russia is doing the war, killing thousands and thousands of civilians. And yes, because of this attack and high losses of Russians, Putin is now trying to show himself as a peacemaker inside Russia too, because he wants to say to his people, "Yeah, okay, I understand that you are suffering, and I want to make some peace," but certainly it's a lie.
Yeah. Look, in the lead up to the new year, there have been major strikes, major attacks. France and Germany saying they're going to be sending more equipment. Alexei, I want to ask how you are doing, how your family is doing, how your colleagues are doing, and whether you feel you have enough resources and enough to just get through a possible, scenario with more aggressive strikes like you've laid out. That's how Putin responds.
My family lives in Odessa. They did not leave the country even for a day from the February 24th. So yeah, it's difficult. As for millions of Ukrainians, we are deprived from electricity from time to time, and it can be up to 3 days without electricity. You can imagine. Sometimes we're deprived from running water, and some cities like Mykolaiv is deprived from running water from April. That was a 500,000 population city before invasion. And our network of humanitarian centers, Goncharenko centers, is delivering water there from April. And we delivered more than 1 million liters of water. But just imagine a city without running water for so many months. So yes, it's very difficult. But the most difficult is for our fighters, for our men and women on the front line who are fighting not only for Ukraine, but for the whole free world. Thank you.
Alexei Goncharenko, thank you very much. And I know that so many Ukrainians are celebrating Christmas. We wish you all well, and we thank you very much for your insights. There have been reports of strikes since Russia announced this Christmas ceasefire. I want you to take us through the latest.
Sure. So yeah, as you mentioned, our colleagues on the ground, Karim Hader, Ben Wiedemann, said that they heard not long after that ceasefire began, they heard and witnessed both incoming and outgoing fire across the front line in eastern Ukraine. And so it appears that it is business as usual. Now, of course, the Russians blame the Ukraine for breaking this ceasefire. The Ukrainians say the Russians have carried out shelling in Kramatorsk in eastern Ukraine and in Kherson in the south as well, where there are dead and wounded. They say, though we don't have numbers on precisely how many, but the reality is, Eleni, that this ceasefire was doomed from the get-go. It really never had a chance because the Ukrainians never signed on to it. They never agreed with it because they viewed this as simply a chance for the Russians to improve their position on the battlefield, to get more weapons, ammunition, troops to the front lines, to try to get the upper hand in a battle that the Ukrainians feel that right now the Russians are losing. And so you would be hard-pressed to find many people in Ukraine who actually believe that anything would change along the front lines. In fact, I met one woman this morning at a prayer service for the military at this St. Michael's Church behind me who said that, look, she read the wording of the Kremlin declaration quite closely and noticed that it said there would be a ceasefire along the line of contact, didn't say anything about the rest of the country. So in her mind, she figured, well, there will be missile strikes likely in the rest of the country. This is how little faith Ukrainian people have in what the Russian government and what the Kremlin actually says. I also spoke to the head of the Orthodox Church of Ukraine who led the prayer service earlier today, and he said, look, we don't trust what the Russians have to say. You just have to listen to the air raid siren that went off during the church service, and that tells you everything you need to know, Lenny.